everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Show you the top of those trees. Got a nice wind blowing here today at the homestead. Today is Monday, March 11th, 2019. And partly cloudy day, not bad. Decent amount of sunshine. I think we've got a high of like 36 today. I'm going to kick around to the driveway here. Things are starting to melt finally, which is great because it's just, I'm like so done with winter, you have no idea. I'm ready for the nicer weather. Okay, so we're going to jump right into today's topic because I think this is an interesting topic and I definitely want to hear your guys' feedback, okay? Disciplining children. Alright, to spank or not to spank, that is the great debate, right? We got this big thing pushing society now that you can't spank your children and this is that and bad and stuff like that. So first of all, I'm going to say that I am pro spanking. I am definitely for spanking, but that is a tool that you should have as a last resort. So what do I mean? So we're going to talk about this a little bit. Now I'm going to give you some examples of what I've learned myself and what works for me, and then you can, like I said, guys definitely weigh in. I definitely want to hear your opinion, okay? So when I first got together with my ex-wife, Joshua had just turned 5 at the time, and he is now 22. So just a few years ago. And actually, so anyway, he was, like I said, he was 5 years old, and we were dating at the time. So, like, basically when she shared custody with Josh. So when she had Josh, I would stay over at her place. She was living with another female and her friend. So when she had Joshua, I would stay over there. When she didn't have Josh, she would stay at my place. Okay. So we were dating, and so Joshua loved BattleBots, which was a thing that was on TV and stuff like that. And this particular night, when we first really started dating, and she used to have Joshua sleep with her every night. And I told her, I said, listen, we're going to be together. He's not sleeping with us anymore. He's got to sleep in his own bed. I'm a big believer that children need to sleep in their own bed, not sleep with mommy and daddy. I don't think that that's a cool thing. It's not good for the kid. It doesn't teach him the right things, okay? And this is, again, in my opinion. So this particular night, he continued to get up and continued to try to come in to the room with us. And so, I had said to her, I said, you need to handle it or I will. And so he kept getting up, and I said to her, I said, you need to threaten BattleBots. You need to use that as the threat. And so she was like, okay. She said, Josh, if you get up one more time, and BattleBots was on like a Tuesday. She goes, on Tuesday you are not going to watch BattleBots, okay? So what happened was, he got up again, of course, because kids are going to test that theory, guys. They're going to test and see what they can get away with. They're going to see if you're going to follow through on your word. So we're getting to the gist of what this is all about, okay? So anyway, what happened was, he got up and she said, okay, no BattleBots on Tuesday. And then, but we got him settled down and stuff like that. So then Tuesday comes, and I get over to the house, and they're sitting in the kitchen, or the dining room, or not, living room. And Josh says to me, just this innocent little sweet kid that he is, and he always was, great kid, great kid. I can never say anything bad about him. He says, Ed, he goes, Mom's got something that she wants to tell you. And I looked at her at the time and I said, it better not be what I think it is. Because if it is, if you do not follow through with your word, I said, I am packing up my stuff and I am out of here right now. Because if you don't follow through on what you threaten, I said, your word means nothing. And so she looked at Josh and she said, Josh, no BattleBots tonight. And so he learned, two things happened right then and there, okay, guys? He found out that Mom is going to follow through on her word because she had me backing her up now at that point, and she wasn't going to give in. And so you have to have consequences for your actions. If you threaten your child with a disciplinary action and you don't follow through, that child's going to walk all over you. And kids are going to test, guys. They're always going to test. It's always going to happen, okay? So in the 11 years that his mom and I were together, I spanked Josh two times, okay? And here's a spanking for me, okay? With Joshua, it was one crack on the behind both times. And both times was because he wasn't listening to his mother. And he was having a little tantrum. And I came in, and I picked him up off the floor, and I gave him a shot on the butt. And it gave him a correction, and he realized that that was not going to happen anymore, and he did what he was told, okay? My daughter, I have never had to spank my daughter because my daughter never did not listen, okay? Has she been disciplined? Absolutely, okay? My son Eddie, you could whip Eddie every day and it would not make any kind of difference at all. With his autism, that wasn't a tool that worked. So I had to find something that worked for Eddie, okay? So what it was for me, for Eddie, was the laptop, the computer. If he didn't follow the rules or do what he was told, he would lose his privileges. And he knew that, you know, I'm a man of my word and I'm going to follow through with what I say. All right? I believe that you try to find what tools, and like I said, and Eddie does what he's told because he knows that if he doesn't, then he's not going to have his privileges, which for him, being on that laptop is everything. So you find that tool with your child that works, okay? And sometimes it's frustrating, guys. I'm not going to lie. Trying to figure out what is the thing that is going to be the winning thing for you to use as that tool. You know, disciplining children, my first resort was never to whip their butts, okay? I'm going to talk to them first. I'm going to tell them these are what the rules are. This is what is expected of you. These are the chores, all those type of things. The biggest advice that I can give anybody when it comes to disciplining children, and like I said, I've raised 3, so I kind of know what I'm talking about. Follow through. If you don't follow through on your threats to that child, your word means nothing and they know they can do whatever they want. If you follow through, they know that if they act a certain way and you make that threat, like you're in the grocery store and the kid's acting out, I see this all the time, okay? And I want to go smack the parents, I'll be honest with you, because I never blame the child in a grocery store. It's the parents' fault. Absolutely 100%, because they have allowed that child to act that certain way, okay? So my kids always knew if you showed your behind out in public, we're leaving right then and there. Everything is left in the cart, and that is the end of it. That happened, you know, with my son one time, you know, with Eddie, and we were grocery shopping for school, or not grocery shopping, clothes shopping for school, and we were in the store, and I kept telling him, you need to knock it off. If you don't knock it off, we're leaving. And so we're in the middle of shopping, and he showed his butt one too many times, and I picked him up, and I started to leave. I looked at Amy, and I said, we're leaving, and we're leaving now. And my son was yelling and screaming and carrying on and acting like a fool, but guess what? None of it worked, because we left and we went home. And it was probably 3 days later we went back and finished up doing, you know, the clothes shopping. But I'll tell you what, when we went back the next time, he behaved himself. You have to follow through with what you say when it comes to discipline. I'm a big believer, and I would rather take away privileges than whoop your butt, okay? Because if I whip your butt, okay, like you're my kid, and I whip your butt, it's over. It's over in 5 minutes and it's done, okay? But if I take away your privileges, and I'm not talking, guys, well, you just lost your privileges for 2 weeks. That's not how, doesn't get it with a kid, okay? You have to do, depending on their age, you know, a shorter time period. Like if you got a 5-year-old kid, you know, realistically their attention span is not going to be there. They're not going to get why am I being disciplined, you know, for whatever reason. But, you know, like longer term, like if you're doing it a week later, well, you're still being disciplined because of what you did last week. You know, with a child that size, you know, like you take it away for the day. Whatever the privilege is, you take it away for that day. And again, like with Josh, it was on this specific day, the show that he loved to watch every single week, he was not allowed to watch it because of his own actions. And you put it on them. It's because of their own actions why the discipline is what it is. That is what is so lacking today in our society, is the discipline. You have children raising children. They have not a clue in the world what to do. They want their kids to be their friends. You know what? You know when your kids become your friends, guys? When they're grown up and they've moved out and they're starting their own lives and they're having their own children, then they can be your friends. Up to that point, you need to be a parent. You are not their friend, you are their parent. And that's the problem with so many parents today. I want my child to like me. Well, you know what? There's going to be times in your life your child's going to hate your guts. And he's going to look at you or her and he's going to say, I hate you. And when they say that, well, you can hate me all you want and I still love you. You know? You have to follow through. Follow through on whatever discipline you're doing. And like I said, for me, taking away privileges, if I take away which I never had to do, I'll be honest with you, I've never had to do it. But if I had to take away my daughter's cell phone for a week, that would crush her. Crush her. She would be, oh my God, she'd lose her mind. You know, but you have to follow through on what you threaten, okay? And that's going to hurt her a whole lot more if I take away that phone privilege for a week, as opposed to, you know, giving her a spanking, which is over 5 minutes later, and she's got a sore butt, okay? Now, again, I'm not against spanking, okay? Now, I do believe that when you spank a child, and this is, again, my opinion, it should only be on the butt. You know, if it's a belt or an open hand or a wooden spoon, whatever your discretion is, but you can't, it's hard when you're angry, because when you're angry, you're going to really lay into that kid. So if you can wait and make them wait and stew in it, if you're going to spank them, until you're calm. Because when you're calm, you're not going to hit that child out of anger, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, with my son Eddie, I sure did. I whooped his butt several times. And when I say, okay, so let me just say whip his butt. The most shots on the butt Eddie ever got was maybe 5 at one time. But I whacked him so hard on the butt, probably twice I did this. And I left a handprint on his behind. And for me, afterwards, I felt horrible. I mean, I felt horrible. Now, did he need to be disciplined? Yeah, because he wasn't listening. But I did it out of anger. And this is when Eddie was really, really young. And I had to change my style of discipline with him. And I'm going to tell you right now, and this is my opinion, Eddie made me a better father. Because I had to find different tools that worked with him, because the tools that worked with Heather and Joshua did not work with Eddie. And so my disciplining style completely changed, and that's when I became more of a taking away privileges type of thing. And I found it to be much, much more effective, and it worked great. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. And I definitely want to hear your guys' feedback. I want to hear what you think. What is, you know, for discipline-wise with your children? You know, following through on your threats, guys, that is the #1 thing. And it doesn't always have to be getting their butt whooped, okay? Take those privileges away. That hurts a whole lot more, and it lasts a whole lot longer. I mean, you know, if the kid's like 12 years old, you take that stuff away for a week, that privilege away for a week. Whatever they want to do, whatever is so important to them, you know. If you're providing that cell phone, unless they're paying for that themselves, it's not their phone, it's your phone, and you're letting them have that privilege. So, you know, that's a great tool, especially in today's day and age. And I got Mr. Lucy down here with me. Alright guys, well, I'm going to jump off here. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about this. I want to mention again real quick here before I end the video, the Prepper Nurse 1 community over at preppernurse1.com is really, really growing. It's a great way to interact with like-minded people from your state, from your country. A lot of great forums on there, a lot of people being able to talk back and forth, which is absolutely awesome, okay? So that is... it's a great way to connect with like-minded people. So if you're trying to form a group, or you just want to talk to people that are like-minded, that are not going to judge you and tell you that you're crazy, go check out preppernurse1.com. Click on the Prepper Nurse 1 community. You register. It's very, very private, and you're able to interact with like-minded people. Everybody else can't just come in there and see it. It's only people that are registered. So anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. We've got to try to work together if we can. Remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and we never know what's going to happen. And remember STD, guys, it's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, the only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself, okay? And if you work at things methodically, things come together for you. And, you know, stay away from negative people, stay away from negativity, and, you know, things are just going to be so much better that way. I hope everybody's having a great start to their week, and I hope I said 2019. I'm pretty sure I did today, so hopefully I said the right year this time. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.